Good morning, you beautiful people. Welcome to Coffee and Crypto Live. It is Monday, August 22nd. I have some great news, guys. This is the last Monday of 2022 without college football. This weekend it starts. I don't know how many of the games are really worth watching, so we'll have to wait to the following weekend to watch the good ones. But college football is college football. That's just for me. Anyone out there who's a college football fan, let me hear it in chat. We got some great stuff happening today in the news. Well, Tshroom's going to cover the news. I don't know if it was really that spicy news. The charts, however, definitely are looking good. There's some key insights you're not going to want to miss, so make sure you stay tuned for the entire show. And guess what? We are bringing back at the end of today's show. We're going to be doing some 2-minute technicals, so make sure you leave in chat what you want us to do some technicals on. And at the towards the end of the show, we're going to be doing some of that community TA at the end. Last announcement I have before I introduce my two co-hosts is a lot of you members out there have been waiting, have been thinking, when are we going to have a community stream again? Well, guess what? Next Tuesday, August 30th, we are going to be having another community stream at 11:15, so put it on your calendar, all of those green names out there, because you don't want to miss it. It's going to be an absolute blast. With that being said, though, guys, my name is Tim. I am your host, and I want to throw it to two of my co-hosts over here. We got Tshroom back from vacation, and I got Smay over here running the tech as normal. YouTube didn't give him a problem today, so I'm excited. How are you gentlemen doing today?
Really, really good. And I just realized I saluted with the wrong hand. So totally amateur over here.
Wow. Wow. How about you, Smay? How you doing?
Well, I gotta be honest with you. I'm doing pretty good. All right, I've been doing pretty spicy, pretty good. I've been doing my meal prep action. I got a little bit of protein oats in the morning. I got a little bit of I did a little arroz con pollo in the afternoons for the lunches, and then I got a little bit of. I'm doing a little breakfast for dinner, a little protein pancakes and stuff for dinner. Very good stuff. Very good. Anyways, what I'd like to do is
Wait, are you Italian or are you from Brooklyn? What are you doing over there?
I'm doing something, but I'm gonna read some green names. All right.
All right, let's read those green names.
Why don't you stop interrupting me? I'll hit you with that stick over
Now
there.
you got a lisp.
All right. If you keep interrupting me, I'm gonna go and hit you with that discipline stick over there.
This
all right?
character's having a morning.
All right. I need you to stop interrupting me. All right. I'm serious.
All right, go ahead.
I'm serious. That hurts my feelings. It feels like you don't see me. You don't understand me as a person.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna read these green names, and you're gonna interrupt me.
No, I'm good. We're
All
good.
right. Don't interrupt me. All right. All right. So here we go. We got. Let's see what we got here. All right. So we got Mitch Shaw. We got Crypto AI. We got these nuts. We got these nuts a couple times. He's really excited today. We got Elliot Locke. We got Mitch Shaw. We got Gia S. Let's see who else we got here. Elliot Locke, Agent Gold, Travel Tim, Crypto Sec Guy Matt C of Mellow Fellow. I like Mellow Fellows. Tell you what, they don't get on my nerves like Tim does. There we go. We got CW. We got JoJo. We got who else we got here? Let's see here. Thomas Post, Grand Roof Incorporated.
This one's got you out of breath.
Yeah,
It's quite the effort.
it's really taking a lot out of me.
Quite the guy.
We got Travel Tim, a little travel-sized Tim.
Yeah.
I like little travel-sized Tim. Who else we got here? All right, we got Mike Lowry. I like Mike Lowry. Oh, yeah. Also, I just want to say thank you guys for bringing me all these great NFTs you guys shared with me. Very beautiful NFTs. I love them. I'm going to hang them up on my wall. I'm very proud that you guys sent them to me. I really love some of them. Some of them were a little gross, but most of them look really good, so I'm going to put them up on my wall. Back to you, Tim.
All right. Thank you, Italian, Brooklyn, Lispy, Smaynold, this morning. I'm going to throw it back to you in just a second because, all those green names he just read, all our members, we could not do this show without you guys, so thank you so much. But we also have some partners here at this channel. We want to give a very warm shout out. We'd love for you guys to go use their services because these services are phenomenal. But who are our partners for today, Smay?
I'll tell you what who our partners are. I'll tell you. So first of all, we got Edge. All right, Edge, one of my favorite sponsors that we've ever gotten in the entire world because Hedge is one of the most practical crypto companies in the world. Everybody here could be using Edge, and it saves them a lot of time, a lot of money. Well, yeah, so a lot of money on the exchange fees, a lot of time mostly. All right. So what you do is very simple. You get paid in crypto, percentage of your paycheck. Boom, bada bing, bada bang, straight to your cold wallet. It's the best thing in the world. And you don't even have to worry about getting your employer on board, so it saves you a lot of money. Anyways, back to you, Tim.
in case people didn't hear it, that is, Hedge is phenomenal. Again, that's something really cool. Like he was saying there at the end, if you want to acquire some more crypto, but you don't want to have to worry about exchanges and the exchange fees, you just get it set up directly to your where you work, direct deposit just sends it straight to your cold wallet. You can send it to a hot wallet too, or you can send it to your exchange. I recommend getting yourself a cold wallet, but we'll talk about that more a little bit later.
Well, speaking of a cold wallet, I might as well just go ahead and tell them about my favorite cold wallet.
You want to go ahead and knock that one out of the way now?
I'll go ahead and tell them
Let's
about
do
my
it.
favorite cold wallet. Guys, if you're not using a ledger, what are you even doing? All right, cold wallets are a fundamental crypto principle to be able to save your money from the evil forces at B. All right, so what I need you to do is I need you to go link in the description, check out a cold wallet. Ledger is our preferred. Tim, you use a ledger?
I do use a ledger.
Tim uses a ledger. Tshroom, you use a ledger?
What's the matter, you? Of course I use a ledger.
That's right. He used a ledger, all right? So ledger, I tell you what, it's the best one in the entire world. Link in the description, check it out. And then you can go ahead and have Hedge deposit some crypto and straight into it, all right? So back to you, Tim.
All right, we're going to go ahead and just cut this right now. We're going to go back to our normal voices for the remainder of the show. No, that's it. Remaining show,
Back-
normal voices. That was enough Italian Smay. Italian Tshroom.
You want regular Smay?
We're going to, yeah, I don't know. I mean, we've had enough of that one too.
I thought we were doing New Jersey.
It was Italian Brooklyn Lispy.
All right.
It was all this stuff. We're going to throw it to Tshroom, guys. Here, for the next about 15 minutes or so, we're going to be jumping through what we call our market pulse, where you guys get everything you need to know about what's happening in the news with crypto. He wasn't even here on Friday, so he's got a lot of news to catch up on for you guys. And then we're going to jump in and do some technical analysis. I'm going to definitely cover Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano, but I also want to throw it to you guys to let me know in chat what you want to see for some 2-minute technicals, and we'll throw those in at the end of the show. With that being said, Tshroom, take it away.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you are listening to the sound of my voice, you are now in the Market Pulse, which is a dangerously informative place to be. So we're going to go ahead and dive right on into that. If you'll go to my screen, Smay, we can commence the Market Pulse. All right, so you're seeing now the Fear and Greed Index is at 29, and yes, so that's actually up from yesterday, so moving in a positive direction from yesterday. But it is overall, since last week, really taken a nosedive, because last week it was at 45. For those of you not familiar, the Fear and Greed Index measures fear and greed in the market, and this indicator right now is showing that there's more fear than greed in the market by a pretty decided multiple here of 29. Last week it was 45, which is a much more neutral number. We're going to move on. We've got a pretty interesting update in the CME futures, which predicts the federal fund rate decision that will be happening every month that it happens. The next one is going to be in September of this year, and September 21st. And it is actually, for the first time, not the first time, but first time in a while, it has ticked up to 75 basis points instead of 50. The market was predicting 50, but now it's gone up to 75. And that might be a little confusing for you to understand, but currently the federal funds rate in the United States is at 2.50, right? So then if you add 75 or 50, this is how you get this number, and it's a range. Just for those of you who do not understand that, just wanted to give you a quick little explanation. So
I think a good thing to do is even pause right there and just remember. So we still have over 4 weeks before we actually finally get these numbers, right? And when we first heard from the Fed here a little bit ago, a couple weeks ago, a lot of people, I think it was upwards of 90%. 90% were saying 50 basis points was good to go. And so that number obviously has swung. And this is the first day I'm seeing it where it's higher than 55% for 75 basis points. So right now, this is bearish. I just want to make sure people understand this. Right now, the market's going to look at this prediction and say that the price of crypto should be going down. That's going to happen, but we still have 4 weeks to get another set of CPI numbers. We get another set of unemployment numbers. And so after that, we'll have more. But get ready for volatility day in and day out as these opinions keep changing.
Absolutely. That is 100% true there, Tim. Great update. So we're going to move on into the news bit. Morgan Stanley says tightening in the crypto market has paused. So we're going to learn a little bit about that here. Institutional investors have stopped redeeming stablecoins, and the coin's market cap, an indicator of liquidity in the crypto market, has stopped falling. Even so, there appears to be little demand for positions to be rebuilt, Morgan Stanley said in a research report on Friday. So last week was the first time since April that the market cap of the coins, the stable coins, didn't drop on a monthly basis, according to this report. while it was still 20% below its peak, this may be a sign that extreme institutional deleveraging appears to have paused for now. So this is bullish. This is pretty bullish, and I've actually got a chart here of Tether pulled up. This is the 1-year chart. So this is what Morgan Stanley's been taking a look at here, and I'll actually blow this up for you a little bit more here. So it's this was kind of when crypto started to drop off, and it started to look like it was going to level off here back during this time, but then in mid-April, but then it kept going down, and now it looks like it's not only leveled off, but it has started to kind of come back up. And that that's obviously reflective of crypto prices as well, but Morgan Stanley really likes the prospect of looking at stable coins and what they can mean and their implications for the overall market. So good, decently bullish news there, and that what's important about that news story is that Morgan Stanley is a big reputable bank, and what they say tends to reverberate around the market. So they have just signaled a pretty bullish thing for the traditional stock market and for crypto markets to pay attention to and trade accordingly on. But we're going to move on. Crypto exchange FTX's revenue soared 1,000% in 2021, says a report. Now, this is a subject of a leak. So crypto exchange FTX saw its revenue soar more than 1,000% from 89 million to 1.02 billion in 2021, according to CNBC report, citing leaked internal documents seen by the outlet, seen by CNBC. They're pretty interesting stuff. With a reported trading volume of more than 1.5 billion in the past 24 hours, FTX is currently the industry's third largest crypto exchange behind Binance and Coinbase. And I believe I highlighted one more note here, just that I found interesting. No, that's on a different one. But this is pretty significant. I don't know that there has been major leaks in the crypto space of this kind in terms of revenue data that's been leaked. So this is definitely really interesting. It also shows that they did really, really well in 2021. I would be concerned though that they did not do anywhere near as well in 22 so far. But I don't think that they released the data in the same way. So it's going to be really interesting to see. But I brought this report up just because of just the sheer immense quantity of revenue that they were able to garner in that year. So
this makes a
stuff.
lot of sense with all the moves that FTX has been making this year, as it seems like every other exchange is really stumbling down the stretch. We heard Binance lost upwards, they believe 90% of their users with the Know Your Customer. Coinbase obviously was doing a lot of layoffs. FTX, though, during all the chaos, was like acquiring more stuff and more people. And the news broke here a couple weeks ago that they're actually going to start to trade stocks. And their CEO literally came out and he said, "I'm not even doing this to make money. We're probably going to lose money having this option. It's just to bring in more customers." I think it's going to be interesting to watch how they do that. They're doing very well financially, obviously, even as this report is saying. The question is going to be, what does it look like going forward for FTX? Can they keep this momentum going? Something I talked about when I was on the blockchain the day that news broke, that they were starting to open up for stocks, is there's a lot of reasons why businesses fail. A lot of reasons. But if you look historically at some big companies, and FTX is a big company, some big companies that used to be household names that have gone away and people have forgotten about, one of the things that they do is they expand a little too fast and they don't keep the main thing. They think, all right, we got this down, let's explode. Well, the crypto space is still so young and so new. My question is going to be, and I'm not saying they can't, but can FTX warrant having a complete option of stocks to be able for people to trade, but not be making money on it? Can they keep? Is it going to work to bring the attention in the way they think it's going to work, and then get more money through the crypto trading, or is this going to be a distraction and potentially be a downfall for FTX? Let's keep an eye on this. But again, historically, companies make moves like this thinking it's going to help, and it ends up hurting their company, potentially maybe even making them go bankrupt. Keep your eyes on what's happening with FTX. I do think they're a part of the future of crypto, but it's still a young space. Crypto is still so young. A lot of things could happen in the future. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And to Tim's point, it seems like that kind of a move, adding stocks, would be something to be able to compete with Robinhood, who has both and are commissionless on both crypto and stocks, which is really, really interesting. But we will go ahead and move on. I'm going to go through this next story pretty quickly because it's not doesn't have super deep implications for crypto. But euro price forecast parity back on the cards for the EU to USD pair. The euro extended its fall on this Monday today as markets follow on from last week's outlook about a hawkish Federal Reserve who could remain fervent in their path despite concerns about a recession. So from a European perspective, soaring gas prices continue to weigh on Eurozone, and with winter approaching, the problem is likely to worsen. So we'll take a look really quick at the euro to USD pair, and you can see back here in mid-July, it got down pretty low, and we have not returned to that low wick point quite yet, but it is much lower, and that has a lot to do with this federal funds rate prediction and why that prediction changed. And we're going to actually dive into that right now. So seamlessly transitioning into the next story here. Jackson Hole inflation dollar soars. What to know about this week in the market. So Jackson Hole, this is the first time you're hearing about this, and you are a pretty avid trader, you're going to definitely want to pay attention. Close reading of Powell's comments on Friday will boil down to whether investors see the Fed chair signaling another 75 interest rate hike from the Fed at its next policy announcement on September 21st. That's a really weird sentence. Or whether the Fed will ease its pace of rate hikes and increase benchmark rates by 50 basis points. So Jackson Hole is in Wyoming. It's a city where the Fed, I guess, goes out, whoever's the Fed chairman goes out and talks about what their outlook is, what the Fed's thinking, and all of that good stuff. And so that's going to be happening this Friday. And considering there is no rate decision in August, there's no federal fund rate adjustment in August, this is going to kind of be the press release. This is going to take the place of that. And the market is already responding pretty strongly by flipping their prediction over to 75 basis points. So that is really, really important to keep track of. So July inflation data showed a modest softening in inflation pressures, arguing for easing of pacing of hikes. So that would be in favor of the 50 basis point hike. And then the July job report dispelled concerns from some Fed officials that the labor market is softening, perhaps making the case for continued aggression on raising hikes. So that would lean more towards the Fed having the green light at least to go to 75 or even 100. But so we shall see. Powell's speech will be released at 10 a.m. on Friday, and it is really, really going to be key. It's going to send markets either up or down. It's very unlikely it'll go sideways, although based on this flippening of the CME futures prediction of the federal funds rate, I would say that the market is probably going ahead and pricing in what they think is going to happen here. So it'll be interesting to see how the Standard & Poor, the indexes trade, and then Bitcoin and Ethereum trade today to try and position itself for success or get manipulated. depends on the way you look at it. But so you can leave my screen now. Just a couple of notes on the Jackson Hole meeting as we wrap up the market pulse here. My prediction is that Jerome really doesn't want this speech to happen, right? I think he has the markets, and I think he has the markets right where he wants them. I think he has, everybody who's got their own 401k, that maybe they're doing a little bit of management with their financial advisor. So someone down at that level who's barely touching their investments, all the way up to day traders. I think he has all of them kind of right where he wants them, kind of feeling this hesitant optimism moving into the fall, thinking that the Fed has it under control. I think that this speech is just going to give the market more data that they can spin and misunderstand. So I'm looking for this Jackson Hole to be really boring, Manila, and he's going to try to really be as bland and right down the middle as possible, because honestly, the Fed is in the best position that it could be in from a messaging standpoint as of right now, going into the fall, leaving the summer. So that's kind of one big note, is this is going to be boring, but it's still going to be important, because if he can't accomplish that, if he can't remain, right down the middle in Manila and boring, then the media is going to pounce on that, and markets may react accordingly if he drops something that indicates if he's going to go one way or the other on 75 or 50 at this point. Remember, keep in mind that we still have a big inflation print on September 13th, I believe, and then we have an unemployment print earlier in the month of September. So there's still data points that they do not want to indicate there's still data points that are yet to be received by the Fed for them to be able to make their decision. So they don't want to indicate one way or the other. And that's why they're in such a good position right now, and they don't want to spoil that. But the only loose end right now is energy prices in Europe. So if those energy prices that are kind of skyrocketing right now, especially in natural gas, if those energy prices roll over into the U.S. markets, then that could bring inflation higher. And that may not happen right away, so it may not be reflected in the September print of the August inflation numbers. It may get pushed forward into the year. But that's kind of the only loose end right now, I'd say. And Tim, I'd like to see if you kind of agree if that's true. And to do that, just kind of look at the U.S. oil is kind of in a favorable place right now. It just got rejected. If you're on my screen, Smay.
Well, actually, I mean, we can go. Do you want to show the charts? What you have? I already drawn up on TA.
Yeah. So go ahead. Go over to Tim's.
Yeah.
Screen.
Let's go. So here's what's interesting. So Tshroom is right that right now this chart. Let me go down to the 4-hourly candles just to give this a little more impact. That volume is not very helpful. It stays consistent. But you guys are seeing that we're in a descending trading channel on U.S. oil. So good news. We did reject. We did come down. We hit that level of resistance. This is a very clean channel. This is very clean. 4-hourly chart. We have some wicks down here. The reason I drew this way was on the daily chart. You guys are seeing like that. But here's the thing about trading channels is while we're coming down now, and hopefully we get some refreshing down the road, and we come down even lower. That doesn't mean it's over. Like these trading channels, more often than not, if I'm just removing all emotions and I'm removing all trying to decipher what's happening in the news, charts like this will eventually break bullish. These don't just keep going down and down and down and down. These break bullish. So this is something to keep your eye on what's happening here, especially with what Tshroom's talking about in the news. This is good that we rejected right here, but there's definitely some news that's hinting at this might not be, the concerns from U.S. oil and electricity and everything else might not be over for Americans. We might just be in a spot of delay. And you can go away from my chart for just a second now, Smay. Here's really what I think people need to know about what's about to happen with the speech and what they're looking at over the next 4 weeks, and really in all reality, what we're looking at over the next couple of months. I've talked about this before. You have to understand that there is a world right now of data and there's a world of reality. All right? Decisions are made officially based off of the world of data. But don't think that they're not aware of what reality really is. So they're going to hold on to the data points they can find where, hey, inflation went down. By a lot? No, but it went down. Hey, unemployment rates are still not doing that badly. Are we looking at the intricate details of what the unemployment's really factor out to be? No, we're not going to touch any of that. That would be dealing with reality. Let's just focus on these good-looking numbers. Right? As long as unemployment is not a concern, and as long as inflation isn't where they want it to be, and they want it to be all the way down to 2, so anything above that, you're going to see the ability for the Fed and Jerome Powell to continue to raise interest rate hikes. Now, what they have to do is balance this with knowing, all right, the numbers look clean right now. We like what the numbers are doing. But there's reality over here. There are people losing jobs. There are people who are suffering and cannot pay for bills because of inflation numbers. So it doesn't really matter what the data says. If we don't take care of reality, reality will end up leaking into the data, and then those data numbers won't look good, and then potentially we're too far away. So if reality wasn't so bad, there would be no problem with Jerome Powell just being very confident saying, hey guys, we're going to keep doing 75 basis points. We're going to keep getting rid of this inflation. Unemployment's looking good. We don't have to worry about that very much. We just got to worry about getting these prices down. We got to worry about getting the value of the dollar back. So let's just keep staying consistent. The reason why there's even a conversation about 50 is because even though reality hasn't broken through that wall yet, it is coming. A lot of people believe that it is coming where out of nowhere, it's going to be like overnight, the unemployment numbers are going to jump. We're going to see inflation start to go back up, and Jerome Powell's going to get himself stuck in a place. So right now, the question of 75 to 50 is how do I balance this very fragile economy and fragile job market that I have right now and not destroy what we have going forward? It's actually a very hard job. I don't envy Jerome Powell's job. Now, you could make the argument that the government and Jerome and everyone was involved in getting us to this point, but where he's sitting at right now is a very, very difficult place to be because one wrong move where he goes too high on the interest rates And what you could do is cripple the economy. You could make jobs start to spiral. People start losing their jobs like crazy. And we enter a recession, a serious recession. Maybe even, I know some people are getting extreme saying depression. I don't know about that far, but definitely recession. Or the other side is you keep those basis points low and inflation continues to be out of control. And yes, people have jobs, but it doesn't matter if you have a job if you can't afford to feed your family. So it's a really interesting spot he's in right now that he has to navigate. That's kind of what he alluded to in his last announcement when he talked about the last 75 base point hike, where he is saying, you know, the soft landing we wanted, it's narrowing. Our chance to get that soft landing is narrowing, meaning it's getting a lot harder to do it, and we got to be really careful. So keep your eyes on all these numbers as they pop out, but don't just cling to the data and forget about reality, and don't just focus on reality and say, well, this is what's about to happen, because as long as the data looks good, they can actually stay a little bit aggressive with their interest rate hikes, which I think is the better way to go. But watch as reality and data start to merge together and start to get a little more messy. We are a long way off from any certainty of a bull market coming back.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to be very, very excited to watch this on Friday and see how the media reacts to the Jackson Hole speech from Jerome Powell. But that does conclude our Market Pulse. Thank you guys so much for watching the Market Pulse and staying tuned on what matters in crypto. I know that you're kind of having to bear with us through all this Fed talk, which may seem very, very tenuously related to crypto, but I assure you it's extremely important. And right now, a lot of what the market, both on the equities and the crypto side, hinges on is just kind of the price of oil, the price of energy. And as it trickles down into the U.S. economy and even the Canadian and Mexican economy, that that pushes inflation higher, and when the price of energy goes higher, and that is what the Fed is really looking at. And when they make that decision to go 75 or 50 or make any adjustment, that makes the price of money more expensive. And so unfortunately right now, the point that we are in the development of crypto is that people aren't using it. The market is not using crypto as a currency quite yet. Some people are. There's some industries that absolutely are. But mostly it's being held by investors, whether on the retail side or on the institutional side, and they're just basically trading it as if it's shares of Apple or Google or Amazon or something like that. And so the price of crypto tends to be correlated with tech stocks, and they're kind of treated like higher risk assets. And that's not always going to be the case, but right now that is the case, and that's why we are looking so closely and watching the Fed news, because the Fed news has obviously a very, very direct correlation on risk assets. So that's the connection there, and that's the end of the Market Pulse.
Thank you so much, Tshroom. Before we keep moving on, because we're about to jump into some technical analysis, you guys have been waiting for it. Thank you for your patience. Let's smash that like button. We got 750 people watching, 194 likes. That is not a good ratio whatsoever. Smay, what do you think about that ratio?
I gotta be honest with you guys. That ratio, in terms of as far as ratios go, it's not a good one. So that's an important thing to keep in mind. And so my analysis says that we're in an ascending triangle pattern. So what I need you guys to do is go ahead and hit the like button.
Yeah, so we keep smashing on a flat level of resistance.
Yeah.
It's time to break through.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, Smay put a poll out here earlier about Italian Smay. Those of you who are joining, we got a visit from Italian Smay this morning on the Market Pulse.
50-50.
And 212 votes, 50-50. That is, you know,
I'm gonna say we're gonna have to go.
That's pretty close.
I think we're gonna have to go with the away team on this one and phase out Italian.
Yeah,
Smay.
I think Italian Smay is in a winner. List Smay, I liked List Smay, but you know the Italian.
Who's Lisp Smay?
Well, you had an Italian Brooklyn lisp going on.
Okay.
It was you know the lisp was endearing.
I bring back the lisp.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and jump into some technical analysis, though, guys. If you are new here, welcome to Coffee and Crypto, where we like to, you know, we have our coffee, very much so, and we're talking crypto, and we just want to have fun while we do it. It doesn't mean that we don't want to get into the serious details of the news and the charts and everything else. We just love to have fun while doing it. So thank you so much for being a part of this community. It did just swing 51% yes for Italian Smay. So maybe,
so then maybe Italian.
Maybe he just needs to go into like, you know, he needs to work on himself.
A little
recession,
little recession, a little self-help.
Maybe Italian Smay is here to stay.
Okay, well, how about Italian? Let Italian Smay say one more thing. Italian Smay is all about the NFTs, all right? So I got to be honest with you, NFTs, look forward to more NFT content from not Italian Smay, but just regular Smay, all right?
All right.
Because I'm really into the NFTs now, you know. You guys have been showing me all your beautiful NFTs. I'm excited about it.
All right, Italian Smay. Thank you so much. We're going to jump in and we're going to do
Sayonara,
some
everybody.
technical analysis here. Elliot Locke in chat. He asked, Tim, can you look at the Dixie? And guess what? That's the first thing I want to look at today. Go. I don't know if you're already on my screen or not, Smay, but you definitely can head there if you are not. This is all I'm going to talk about with the Dixie is that it is out of control. It's out of control on the way up, and this is one of the reasons why. This is one of the reasons why the price has been dropping. Now, there are some things I'm going to show you here before we jump into Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, and anything else you guys want to look at that potentially there is hope on the horizon. You know, it's Optimistic Monday, by the way. We didn't even talk about that early in the show. I want to keep it optimistic here, but I put out something the other day talking about the golden pocket level. I mean, the price had just broken through the 0.5 level on Fibonacci. In case you guys are wondering what levels I'm using, I'm going back to this peak we had in July, around July 14th, dropping down to where we bottomed out here around August 11th. Golden pocket, you know, we did hesitate for a second. You guys are seeing a bunch of green candles, but we hesitated there for a while, and then we broke through. And then after hesitating at 0.786, we have a candle right now. I'm assuming it's going to drop a little bit and end up closing below this level right here. That's not a level on Fibonacci. That's a level that goes back. I think this has to do with a peak. What is that level from, actually? No, why did I draw that? Because that doesn't have anything to do with Fibonacci. I'm going to have to work that one out. I drew this the other day. Maybe it has to do with daily candle close. I think that's exactly what it is. I drew a level right at the daily candle close here, so that's what that level's from. We're breaking through that, though, maybe heading back up. Now, before we just get really, really excited, there's a chance that we end up double topping right at that wick. That we get back to that same level of around 109, what is that, 0.311? We double top. That is a potential. The bearish side of this, though, is if we cannot hold this, if the Dixie continues out of control, what we are currently in long term, let me get rid of the Fibonacci level so you can make it a little more clear. We're kind of in a broadening wedge right now ever since, if we were to scroll back all the way back here, around January, that we've been broadening out. So what this means is we're setting higher highs, we're setting higher lows, but the spread, instead of converging, it's spreading out. Some people call this a megaphone pattern. You know, I call it a broadening wedge. Either way, the potential of this, if we were to be heading back towards resistance, we might be seeing areas where the Dixie gets upwards of 113, maybe even higher, depending on how long it takes to get there. This would be probably in line with that Bitcoin going below 17,000, heading down into those lower teens, maybe even down to the 11,000 I've heard a lot of people talking about. I'm not ready just yet to say absolutely that is going to happen. However, it is something that I am keeping an eye on as we watch the Dixie work, because the reason why Elliot Locke asked for it is because we all know that we've been following this. It works almost completely inversely from crypto. So keep your eyes on what's happening with the Dixie. There's some potential optimism we could reject soon. We still got some resistance over us. I wish I could pull up some volume for you guys, but the Dixie doesn't let you look at volume. That's not how that one works. If it gets out of control formation-wise, potentially, maybe we'll see this. What I'll do, one last thing. I can't remember if Luxalgo works on the Dixie. It might not. Oh, it does. Okay. So on the daily chart, we are on Luxalgo above the take profit levels. Again, one more reason for hope. Potentially we get back up to double top there. And we're still under the take profit zone on Luxalgo. Keep your eyes on what is happening over on the Dixie, because it is very important when you're thinking about your crypto holdings. With that said, let's go away from the Dixie. Let's go over to Bitcoin and let's look at what's happening over there, because there are some very fascinating things happening. Now, the first thing is that Bitcoin did find support slightly below, but right about at our golden pocket level we talked about here last week. Where is this golden pocket coming from? I'll use Fibonacci. I'm going to go back to where this secondary bull trend started, and that was right here, this wick that we had back on July 13th. Now, real quick, let's just pause it there. Why, Tim, why are you using that level right there? Because we kind of had, yes, we had a candle body close right there, but we kind of had some flat bottoms where we just kept coming back to the same region, moving sideways after we bottomed out at 17.6 before we finally took off at this level. So that's why I'm starting right there. And I'm going to go up to the peak that we had here a couple days ago. Didn't quite get there, so I got to re-click that and get up there. So you're going to see the golden pocket sitting right there around that $21,000 area. Yes, we dipped below 21,000 briefly, but made ourselves back up there. So this is the level right now that we are finding support on. But like I said earlier, if the DXY, the Dixie, cannot hold its resistance, this is the argument for why Bitcoin is going to be going back down. You guys see these two green lines that I've drawn right here? This is the level that we've now fallen back into when looking at our VRVP that we set when we originally dropped down to these levels back in June. Let me pull that up for you and show you why I'm using those levels. So you're going to see, while we did spend some time above the green line and we hovered there, breaking back down into it, this is the key level level of volume that we've been in since this part. You know, the candles went a little bit above it, but as a whole, the money wanted to stay below 22,300 and stay above about 19,000, give or take. So let's keep an eye on this zone. We could be seeing a lot of volatility happen between these green levels, but anyone who is trading, anyone who might be even under a buy signal right now, I do think Bitcoin's going to be rallying back up, but keep your eye on that level of 22.3 or so, 22.2, 22.3, because that's where volume's going to probably give us potentially some resistance and stay in a zone that we were in here earlier this year, back in July, about a month and some change ago. We started here, in June. So pause right there. Let's take the VRVP down. And let's kind of reflect for just a second on angles. Now, you might be asking, Tim, why are you confident that we're going to be rallying up before we drop back down? And here's the reason why. We talked about this several times on the show. Let me scroll out and just kind of re-talk about trends with all of you guys, in case any of you guys might have missed this. Ever since November, when we hit all-time high, we have been in a bear trend. We've been in a falling trend. This is what we call the primary trend. That's why we call this a bear market. That's why we're saying we're going down. That's why we say the trend is your friend until it ends. That's why a lot of bears have kind of said, hey, this is not over. Until we break through, I would say, about 32,000 and start closing some candles above 32,000, I don't think that I would be comfortable saying that this bear trend is over. Once we get above there, then you start to make, it's not even guaranteed at that point, you're just starting to make arguments saying, all right, at least we set a higher high. But as it stands right now, when we peaked out right here around 25,000, that is still a lower low on the primary trend. Therefore, this is definitely still a bear market. Now, what we did have was we did have a secondary trend where after we bottomed out here at 17, moved sideways for a little bit, and then flashed down to about 19,000, we started a secondary bull trend where we were rising up. And so you guys can see from this point, we set higher highs and we set higher lows. This fall down we just had, I talked about this last week, if we break this level of 22.8 or so, and we close below it, that will cancel out this secondary bull trend and we'll start a secondary bear trend. So that is what we're having right now. Now, the issue is that during this bear trend, we are going to have what we call a tertiary bull trend that happens throughout the whole thing. And those of you who love Elliott wave know about this practice a lot. And that is that right here, let's start right here. Elliott wave, we did have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 upswing where 1 was our first line up. We fell back down 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So our Elliott wave did give us a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 upswing, secondary bull trend. The problem is we are currently going to be starting an ABC correction where what you're going to have is you're going to have this A, we fell down. We're going to correct back up. I'll show you why I think this level grain is the next level that I think we're possibly rejecting at. And then we're falling back down C. The question is, will we fall down here to 20,000? Will we go below 20,000? Will we start heading down towards 19? That is the question that nobody knows the answer to right now, but watch this happen. Just because we begin to rally here shortly does not mean this ABC correction is over. It is simply the B swing of an ABC correction according to Elliott wave. Now, what are the levels that you're possibly looking for at Bitcoin other than this green level potentially right here at 22,200? Actually, I don't know why I pulled that up. I want to pull up my Fibonacci once again. The first thing is I want to keep an eye on what's happening with this Fibonacci retracement level. So let's go ahead and take this from the top to the bottom. Where that green line is corresponding with is 0.382. That's a key significant level. So what you're looking at with Fibonacci is if there's just not a lot of bullish momentum, we're going to correct right where this wick did right here at 21,700. That could be the top. That would signify there's really just not anything bullish happening. The bears are very, very, very firmly in control. If there's kind of a balance, that's when you're going to see potentially the 0.382 to 0.5 level hitting around 22.8 at the top, maybe 22.3 at the bottom. If we start to see a lot of bullish momentum though, so bullish articles, bullish stories, a lot of volume coming into space for people trying to buy, which by the way, just because people buy doesn't mean they're long-term bullish. That's when we're looking at the golden pocket, potentially going back up to 23,400 or a little bit higher than that. But let me remind you, this is part of what we have fake outs. This is why people fake out. This is how traders kind of manipulate the space. They'll start this bear trend and the price is going to come down. But they'll try to shake out some weak hands along the way by maybe even allowing, these bears will allow the price to shoot all the way back up, maybe towards, 23,400 or so, to make retail investors think, oh, we're good. It was just a small correction. We're going back up. That's when they short the market. That's when they liquidate all these long positions, stealing your money from you, and then they send the market back down lower. So keep your eyes on what's happening here. But if anyone is looking for a position, if you're in a long right now and you want to take profit, or if you want to start a short, keep your eyes on the levels. Is the news, is the momentum really weak, We might have already peaked out, or maybe we'll get a little bit closer towards that 22.2. Is there a little, is there a pretty good fight going on? Maybe we get as high as 22.8, maybe 23,000. And if the bulls have a lot of strength, we might end up seeing a 23.4 again before the next leg down. Keep your eyes on the Bitcoin chart, what's happening there. And I'm about to transition into Ethereum and Cardano. But remember, the reason we start with Bitcoin is because a lot of these coins, even though they'll outpace Bitcoin, they'll make some bigger gains and some bigger losses. As a whole, Bitcoin is the leading chart. When the price of Bitcoin moves, that's what makes everything else move. I've compared this an analogy of like when you walk your dog on an extendable leash. I do this every morning, by the way. I have a dog named Beamer. Beamer might run way ahead of me or he might fall way behind me, but I'm the one dictating where we are going. Same thing, Bitcoin is the one dictating where crypto is going. Ethereum, Cardano, these other altcoins, they might jump out way ahead or they might fall a little behind, but the main mover is Bitcoin. Keep that in the back of your mind. Let's go over and look at Ethereum and see what it is doing, because this is an example where Ethereum, I do think Ethereum is going to have it's going to be falling greater than other altcoins, but as it stands right now, Ethereum is actually holding up a lot better than these other coins. Now, it did fall like Bitcoin fell, like I said, but it did not go anywhere near as deep. And what I mean by that is Bitcoin, remember I told you it went back to its golden pocket. Ethereum would have to fall all the way to about 13,000 to hit its golden pocket, and it's not really even close to there. And, the farthest it fell was down to about 15,000. I said 1,000, didn't I? 1,500, excuse me, guys. It would have to fall to 1,300. I do this every time, and I'm so sorry. I really hope nobody is listening to that and saying, oh, Tim says it's about to go to 13,000. 1,300 is the golden pocket for Ethereum. It is sitting currently right around 15,700, so almost 1,600. But here is what it did, and this is why I do think Ethereum is going to be going down even further. Similar to what I talked about with Bitcoin. Remember those trends I was talking about, the secondary trend, the primary trend, all this stuff? Ethereum was holding off. It was the last coin of the big ones to set a lower low, but that's exactly what it did. Even this right here, we look at this $1,600 low. We've set a lower low on Ethereum. Ethereum now just barely, but it is in a secondary downtrend pairing with its primary downtrend. Same thing with Bitcoin. I'm expecting a tertiary bull trend where we jump back up. Watch the levels I'm looking at is 1,700, potentially even 1,800. We bounce back up to those levels, but what we're doing is we already set a lower low. Watch for us to set a lower high. We're not going to get back up to 2,000. We're not going to get back up there that far. We're going to keep falling. And the levels I'm looking at, Fibonacci, you guys just see my different colored lines. Watch these levels be significant for wrestling points with Ethereum on its way down. So you see it kind of found some confidence at the 0.382 level. What this means is that there's not a lot of strength in the bears as we're coming back down. Watch us potentially bounce back up, like I said, to that 0.236 level around 1,700 before falling down to 0.5 and then eventually maybe that golden pocket. We will see how bad this correction goes. There's still a chance. Some people still believe, again, Bitcoin going to 11,000, Ethereum maybe going back down to 800, 900. I don't know if I'm ready to say that just yet. It's definitely possible, but right now I'm focusing on ABC correction phase, and my belief is Ethereum probably is going to end up getting back down here to this golden pocket somewhere around $1,300. Let's keep an eye on what's happening there. Let's look at what Lux Algo was saying about Ethereum before we move on to Cardano, and I'll go ahead and take down Fibonacci because that's a little bit distracting. Here on the daily chart, we went under a sell order here just a little bit ago. The take profit, though, so here, this kind of tells you the strength that the strength that Lux Algo thinks the bulls have, is it has take profit right there at 1,400. I know what you're saying. It's like, oh, Tim, that's down. That's really not that significantly down. That is not really that far of a drop during an ABC correction. So Lux Algo at this point is still very bullish on Ethereum. So if any of you guys are holding, you're wondering, Tim, what is the future of Ethereum? Right now, even in a correction, the bulls are kind of leading the charge on that. They're going to give up some ground, but they're not going to give up a whole heck of a lot of ground. Let's keep our eyes on this, see if this updates a little bit. But right now, even though I think that at some point we're about to talk about Cardano, I think Cardano is going to start outpacing Ethereum right now with all the stuff that happened on Cardano over the weekend. Ethereum still is kind of leading the charge of those big three coins, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano. That's kind of leading where the market is going. So let's pause right there just a second. Let me catch my breath. I'm going to throw it to Tshroom and ask, do you have any thoughts, before we move on to Cardano, do you have any thoughts about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the trends of the markets currently?
Yeah, I mean, there's that delay in kind of the video feed for me to watch it, but kind of what I've been looking over at is the kind of Ethereum and the VPVR. I use the VPVR because I'm a classic guy. Just over it there, and then it's kind of reaching kind of the bottom of this. If you think of VPVR as support, It's kind of reaching the bottom of this plateau here on the VPVR, the price of Ethereum is. And it has a very far distance to fall. I know, Tim, you covered a little bit of this, but it could potentially go down 18% over to basically 1,250.
You're talking about Ethereum?
Yeah, Ethereum. And that's just kind of what I'm paying attention to, because Ethereum's really an interesting story right now because it surged so far ahead of Bitcoin and Cardano for that matter.
Yeah.
And, that just means it has a lot farther to fall too. The only way that I think it could prevent falling at this point is if, there were some major, testnet wins leading up to the merge.
Yeah.
So, there's always a chance for that. Maybe some tweets from Vitalik or, some of the developers. But I think the best wisdom is to not try to hype the coin of major projects. That's kind of out of vogue now. And that's more of like a altcoin type of move. So that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Go to my screen real quick, Smay. Kind of just even backing up what he's talking about right here, Tshroom, is so here's where Ethereum was a little different, and it got so bullish it was different. And I'm using golden boxes that I usually use for golden pockets, but just stay with me on this one, guys. So there's two different zones, and you're going to see this on Bitcoin, you're going to see it on Cardano as well. But there's two different zones, and that you guys see my two boxes. Ethereum was the one of the three of them that jumped from its bottom zone up to the secondary zone it had been in before. And so right now, Ethereum hasn't even dropped out of this zone yet. We still have a lot of support. I think Tshroom is right that, this golden pocket, that's the top side, just at the top side of this next zone. But Ethereum, if it can hold, could potentially avoid disaster falling down. But if it does drop, it's got to drop zones. Let me go back to Bitcoin real quick and show you guys what I'm talking about here. See, Bitcoin, it barely got out of this bottom zone. Let me get rid of, why is my Fibonacci still up here? Get it out of the way because it's distracting. It never got out of this pocket right here. It never got out of this pocket, and more specifically, this pocket right here between the green lines. It broke through and then fell back down. It never got back up to where we were back in June, where we're around $30,000, right? So it's still hovering. It has a little bit better. It's closer to its floor than Ethereum is. Same thing with Cardano. Let's go look at Cardano real quick. Cardano has been in this kind of floor for a long time now. Unlike Bitcoin and Ethereum, where it dropped again another level, it has held since May the same level of volume. So, Cardano, we're definitely sitting at the bottom side of the volume. On Bitcoin, we're sitting kind of in the middle of the lower box. Ethereum isn't in its lowest box. It's actually in the secondary one that we were in back here in May, and it's come back into. So what Tshroom's kind of getting at right here is, can the bulls hold us inside of this zone with this volume, or will we have a sell-off? Which, again, remember, there's a lot of weak hands in Ethereum that potentially could get manipulated. Watch it just almost have this free fall down to the golden pocket, and then worst case scenario, it starts to fall even lower than golden pocket. We're going back to these lows that it had back in June, mid to late June and into July. That is actually really interesting. That is where Ethereum is very different on the charts than Cardano and Bitcoin. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into Cardano real quickly, and then we're going to do some 2-minute technicals on some projects you guys have. I kind of already talked to you guys about the VRVP. Ethereum sitting in a really low zone right now. Let's look at a couple other things. It bounced off of that zone, so that you guys see these red lines right here. These red lines are kind of the pockets of volume where a lot of action happens. A lot of traders use these zones, these channels, to trade in. So I bet you there's a lot of people actually that are scooping up some Cardano or preparing to scoop up Cardano because it is sitting right there. Some other things that you might want to look at right here is below its golden pocket. I'll go ahead and pull up my Fibonacci for you guys. The Cardano, it's overextended to the downside. Now, a lot of this had to do with some drama that happened over the weekend. Some of you might be aware of this, some of you might not. There was a report given, and we talked about it on Friday. There was a report given that said that there was a catastrophic failure of the testnet. Well, that wasn't necessarily true. It was kind of a scary headline that was made by, you saw articles, right, about a guy named Adam Dean, who is one of the SPOs, staking pool operators. He only said those phrases to scare people to realize, hey, don't just think Cardano's perfect. We need to make sure we do this. The truth is about Cardano, the testnet is working great. That's what testnets are for, to catch bugs. The drama came in when, you can go off my screen for this now, Smay. The drama came in when, I think it actually really started with Dan from Crypto Capital Venture. He had a video where he interviewed Adam and another guy named Andrew, who are SPOs, where they were talking about the concerns and making sure the community was doing things correctly. Well, this didn't float well because it perpetuated that thought of, uh-oh, did Cardano just have a failure? Well, guess what a lot of people in crypto do, especially Cardano haters? They just read headlines. They don't even go read the article. They don't go look at the sources. They don't go watch the entire video. So if you just watched the video, or if you just scanned, or if you just looked at the title of the video or the title of these articles, you would have thought that Cardano was about to die and go to zero. Well, that's not the case. Cardano had a small bug that, if left unchecked and if the testnet hadn't been in play, would have been catastrophic. But because there was a testnet, because there were a lot of SPOs working on getting everything done, Cardano's actually sitting in a great spot. And there was some drama there between Charles and other creators. And I think that there's been a lot of, they've worked out their beef. There's been a lot of, hey guys, we're all on the same team here. We all want this to succeed. But that's why Cardano price dropped. With a combination of the rest of the market dropped and there were very bearish article headlines from Cardano, we set lows. Watch Cardano get a little nice relief rally from it. And from what I understand, we'll cover this in the next couple of days, it sounds like those bugs that were potentially catastrophic have been fixed and worked out, and we should actually be seeing Vassal Hard Fork being launched successfully here very soon. So keep your eyes on that, all of you guys who love Cardano. But you can't shy away from, there was some drama, there was some concern, there were people very worried there. And you can go back to my screen now, Smay, if you would like. I know you're working on something else.
You're good.
You're back on my screen?
Yeah.
On my chart?
Yep.
Oh, sweet. So, I didn't know.
You don't believe me?
I mean, you're like bending below. You're like how you're typing something, so I didn't know if you were handling everything well. Either way, the other thing about Cardano that makes it a little bit different is that not only did it drop farther, the falling wedge pattern that it had been in, it actually has gone ahead and played out. And wow, that's a really small line I just drew there. Let me make that a little fatter so you guys can see that. I'll go up to 3x. If you were to extrapolate this one over, it has actually gone ahead and gone below that prediction. So you guys are seeing right there, Cardano has actually bottomed out. If you were just reading falling or rising wedges and breakouts and how far it should go, Cardano is the one of the three that actually has bottomed out to where it was predicted to go. Bitcoin and Ethereum still have a little bit of work before they can say they hit what their prediction on a rising wedge would be. So with all that said, that took a little bit longer than I thought it was going to. So I still want people to be able to let me know what they want to see for 2-minute technicals. But I also want to see in chat what your guys' thoughts are about everything I just talked about, because that was a whole lot. We talked about a lot of different fundamental news pieces. We talked about the charts. We talked about maybe what it could look like in the future with Elliott waves and what a secondary downtrend would look like. I want to hear what you guys are seeing and what you think, if you're in agreement or if you see something completely different. You can go off my screen because I'm going to make sure I go to chat and see what's happening.
I'm like 5 steps ahead of you.
You're killing it today, Smay. You know what?
Who's the best technical director in all of crypto YouTube?
It is definitely Smay. It is definitely Smay. Now, Italian Brooklyn Smay, I don't know. You know,
yeah, he was struggling a little bit.
He was struggling a little bit.
He needs a little bit more training. But
regular old everyday Smay is definitely, you know, he's a goat.
Thank you. Well,
let's see here.
I'm a human, but
so go ahead. I'm gonna give you guys permission to spam chat with what you guys want to see. Earlier, I saw some XRP. So if you guys want to see XRP, I'm very open to doing that as well. While we're doing that, was there any super chats or any significant chat that you guys did see that we can answer before we do some 2-minute technicals?
I didn't see any super chats. Although I did see, chats. I mean, I guess if we're just reading some good chats, I have a good chat here from, let me find it. Well, keep stalling while I'm looking for it.
Okay, I'll keep stalling. Well, you were stalling. This is not a good stall because you were stalling for my stalling. I don't know.
All right.
Getting it. So I see some H-bar. I see some V-Chain. V-Chain was one I saw earlier as well. I see some Matic on here. I love Matic. Let's do this. Let's do V-Chain and Matic. Those are the ones I'm seeing in. Someone just said
here you go.
XRP.
I found it.
You found a chat? All right, read your chat, and then we're going to jump in. I'm going to do Matic and V-Chain, and if I can, I'm going to look at some XRP.
All right. So this chat says, from Donovan Jarvis says, Smay, I appreciate your unseen behind-the-scenes work. Thank you. You know I had to.
I knew it was gonna be a Smay one.
I had to.
All right, let's go ahead. Let's jump over to Matic. So here, this is actually really interesting. This is a chart I drew for my. I think I put this on Twitter as well, but definitely had a test for some of our guys over on Club DeFi, guys and gals in Club DeFi. And we broke out of a rising wedge here on Matic a couple, back on August 14th. And I gave 4 different potentials that we could come down and hit. And look at this. At the moment, we're holding on that number 1. I still think these next 2 levels are significant, around 69 cents. Number 3 would be around 64 cents. And then worst case scenario is going to be at 60 cents. And my rationale, and I think Ethereum applies to this as well. I'm going to bounce at Ethereum real quick. Yeah, Ethereum applies to this as well, to this the $1,200 price. So, you know, when I'm talking with my guys, this is a flat top right here. This is a double top formation that we eventually broke through. Now, it also, if you're looking at the bottoms, we ended up setting a rising, this was an ascending triangle, which breaks bullish. Good job. I love it. The problem is we did not come back down to retest the resistance and turn it into support. So this 60 cents level, the reason I think it could still be significantly in play is because Matic had such an explosive rally from the news of Disney and Coca-Cola that it actually never retested this form of resistance to turn it into a very, very firm very, very firm level of support. Well, a lot of times when that happens, the price comes back down. It just has to do with how markets move. They'll come back down. They'll test it. So I think this option number 4 of coming all the way back down to 60 cents is a very, very good option. I think even to a lot of people are going to think that's bearish. A lot of people aren't going to like it. It actually is quite a bullish move for the future price action of Matic. Same with Ethereum. Okay, so it exploded so quickly through 1,200. And that's where that golden pocket is. It would make a lot of sense for Ethereum to come back down, turn that 1,200 that used to be resistance all the way back in here, turn it into support, and then be able to continue its rally. So keep your eyes on Matic, what's happening there. Let's look at Luxalgo, see what it is doing to see if there's anything else happening here on the daily chart. It is close, so it has the take profit all the way down at 54 cents. We'll see if that ends up happening. I'm interested in the 4-hourly chart. What does Luxalgo say on the 4-hourly chart? 4-hourly chart, we're under a buy order, and it's saying we could rally back up potentially to 88 cents. That would kind of make sense with this ABC correction that we fall, we rally back up, potentially that high, and then we fall once again. Interesting stuff happening on Matic. Keep your eyes there. I didn't even check on RSI for that one. We're in a good spot. We got some bullish divergence formed on the chart. Doesn't mean it's ready to go just yet. And this one, again, with an ABC correction coming into play, I would not be surprised to see a triple touched bullish RSI divergence where this RSI goes down one more time and we'll see a straight line like this almost, and the price will rally, and then we'll come back down, we'll touch this again, and then we'll take off with our bullish RSI divergence. Keep an eye on what is happening there. But, yeah, so that's Matic. What was the next one? We said VeChain?
I believe so.
VeChain. Is that not one of my saved ones? All right, well, I guess I have to type that one up. Oh, come on, Tim. Let's look at what's happening on VeChain. I'm going to take the Luxalgo down for just a second because I want to look at the chart just as it is. So again, this is an example. We definitely have bullish RSI divergence forming. I think, again, when you're thinking about how Bitcoin works and you're thinking about how the markets work, I think this bullish RSI divergence will give us a B rally on Elliott waves, but it won't necessarily take us back over 3.4 cents here on VeChain. But that definitely is bullish RSI divergence you guys are seeing right here. So price going up, and we had a green candles that kind of confirms that. Now, this candle could keep dropping. Let's keep our eyes on what's happening there. But RSI is definitely going down, but we're not setting lower bottoms just yet on VeChain. VeChain's acting very differently than the rest of the space. I haven't been keeping up with VeChain completely, so I'll have to look in a little bit more at what's happening with news and everything else. If anyone in chat knows, you guys can let people know. But there wasn't necessarily a clean, Elliott wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. So very interesting what's happening there. Let's check on Luxalgo, see what it is saying about VeChain as a whole. We are under a sell order, and it has a take profit. Holy cow, it does not like what VeChain is doing. Down at 1.4 cents. That's not what you want to hear. On the 4-hourly chart, Luxalgo is under sell order there as well, and it says we could get down to 2 cents. As a whole, I'm just telling you guys, looking at these charts currently, I am not necessarily thinking that VeChain is loving this. It's definitely got some bearish stuff going on. I would love to hear in chat, was there something fundamental or news breaking about VeChain that is causing it to be so bearish? It's on its way back down. It's getting to the top. We might find some support right here because we're getting to the top of this little level, but watch us fall back down. Where's my line? Watch us fall back down this level right here. Oh, nice and orange. And then play between that one and about right here. I would not be surprised if we end up falling on VeChain and end up going and bouncing potentially between it's at 2 cents and then what is that? 2.2 cents and 2.5 or so. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Like I said, hopefully there's something in the news that's different than that, but it is not looking good. Last one you guys asked for, XRP. Let's go look at XRP real quick. Go back out to the daily chart, and let's see what we have going on over here. Similar to VeChain, so I think a lot of them actually, because I didn't even look at the RSI this morning with Bitcoin, I bet you Bitcoin has similar things. Yeah, Bitcoin, yeah, well, it's different. Bitcoin's very different. on the daily chart. It does have some bullish RSI divergence forming, but again, like I said, I think we're going to have to wait a little bit longer before that plays out the way everyone thinks. So going back to XRP, though, because this is the one you guys wanted. I must have done some T on it here a little bit ago because I have some lines previously drawn. Come on, load for me. What? Oh, it just went over. Yeah, okay, so let's see here. What do I want to do here? Got the bullish RSI divergence forming on the RSI. Let's look at our VRVP and see what, this is one of those levels that I think we're kind of hovering. I'm going to scroll out and see. Let's give some more timeline. Yeah, so these lines that I have drawn, nope. Let's get rid of all of that so I only have to look at these. Bottom's not right here, and then about right here. And sure enough, even though we kind of broke through that level, you see this red line right here in case I don't have one drawn there already. Yeah, I already do. Let me take down the VRVP. That's the level I'm expecting XRP to stay in until we have some breaking news. Because there's, every single day with XRP is that there's a bunch of new stories. I think the hope is coming. All of the XRP army out there, I think the hope is coming. Let's worry about breaking with confidence through this 37, almost 38 point mark. And then we'll still have resistance from previous levels back here in May. We're looking at 42 cents and 44 cents. But right now, again, while the rest of the market moves down, I expect XRP to move down as well. Let me look at the Fibonacci. Last thing I'll do here, we'll go back all the way to where we started setting higher bottoms and higher tops. Oh, that's not as good of a chart as Bitcoin is whatsoever, but I'll give it the benefit of the doubt with that. It is hovering right below, similar at Cardano, is sitting right below its golden pocket. But again, I think that potentially the 0.786 or a triple bottom. Well, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. What is that? What would we say a fourth bottom would be?
A quadruple bottom.
Quadruple bottom, I guess so. 30 cents. Keep your eyes on that. 32 cents and 30 cents. No, quintuple wouldn't be 4.
Okay, well, I'm crazy.
Guys, you can go off my screen now. That is what I have for you on the 2-minute technicals. Again, knowing that we're about to go into a bear market, not about to go into a bear market, we're about to enter into a secondary bear trend. We already are in one, but just making sure we understand, unless we see a massive rally where we're setting new highs for this whole last couple of months, these markets, watch them be very volatile where they drop to lower lows and then they rally back up to lower highs. That is all we have for you guys in the 2-minute technicals. And I think that's about it. We didn't have any super chats today. Any other chat you guys saw before we wrap out today's stream?
Yeah, we do have some super chats.
Oh, let's do it.
So,
yeah.
I mean, they're very simple. Matt C said, did someone say super chat?
What a guy.
So he super chatted.
Come on.
And then another one we have here is from Julio Sevilla. I'm trying to use my Spanish grammar that I understand because I think that's Spanish. Julio Sevilla. Any thoughts on Polytrade?
I don't have any thoughts on Polytrade. Tshroom, do you know anything about Polytrade?
Not even one?
I don't.
I have one thought, and it is I don't know.
Well, I was gonna say you just now had a thought about it.
You're right. You're right. You caught me in a lie, Smay, and I admit
it's not a lie. It was just ignorance.
I had one thought, and it's I don't know.
Ending off the stream with a lie.
I'm just kidding. Guys, it is that's all we have for today's show. But I am excited to announce that today we are starting a weekly series. Every Monday, we're going to be putting out what we call Crypto Foundations. And today we go into depth on Ethereum. So make sure, if you love Ethereum, go watch that video, like it, comment on it so we know more about what you guys want to see in those videos, and then share it with some friends, because the whole purpose of this series we're going to be putting out on Mondays is to help not only complete your education in this space, but a lot of you, because you're watching right now during such a troubled time where not really anyone wants to hear about crypto, you guys are learning and you're going to be the ones who make millions in the future. But this is also the opportunity to find some good content to send to some of your friends and family so that they can educate themselves, so they can get in as well with you to make those millions. So make sure to go watch that video this afternoon. Smay, do you have an announcement about that?
Yeah, we have one last announcement.
Oh.
Other than that.
Well, I have
go
a bunch
watch it.
Why interrupt the announcement to say we have other announcements?
Well, I thought you were trailing off there. Maybe my timing was a little off.
Yeah.
So keep going, and then I'll
you were
catch
leaking
you
into a little bit of an Italian Smay there.
No.
Anyway, so the other announcement, I have more announcements, Smay. I'm interested to hear what your announcement
is. Can you give me an announcement after you finish your announcements?
I will. The next announcement, I told you guys at the beginning of the show, but anyone who joined late, we are going to be having a community stream next Tuesday at 11:15. So all you green names out there, everyone who is one of our members, we want to say thank you so much. It's been a while since we had a membership stream. We are having one next Tuesday, so put it on your calendar, 11:15. It will be popping. Now, Smay, you have an announcement for everybody?
That was the end of your announcements?
That's the end of my
don't want to interrupt you.
Yeah, there you go.
Is that and?
That's the end.
Okay, guys. Another announcement is, and this is a serious announcement, a very somber announcement too. Not somber, but exciting.
Those are the exact opposite.
Guys, if you're having something that you guys need prayer for, if you need any kind of like, if you guys are going through anything seriously, anything positive, you just want us to pray on your behalf for, we have something in our office called our prayer wall. Which what we do is if you guys send an email saying, I need prayer to support@cryptojebb.com, we take that prayer request, we put it on our wall, and one of us on the team will take that and pray over it for the week. So guys, please, if you have anything that you need prayer for, go ahead and send us some prayer requests, and we are going to bathe that prayer request in lots of prayer because we believe in miracles. We believe in Jesus Christ. So please put those in the email.
Boom.
That was my announcement.
Thank you so
That's
much.
why I was so excited to interrupt you about it. 'Cause it was so important to
that's
me.
good. That's a good one to interrupt for.
Thank you.
Guys, I am so excited about what we have going on in this channel. If you were new here and this is your first show ever, thank you so much for choosing to stay with us. Consider not only smashing that like button, we got 500 likes now. You guys are fantastic. We can get some more of those. But consider subscribing to the channel for more content just like today, where we jump into the news so you guys understand what's happening and what affects the price. And then we look at the charts and how that news actually affects the charts and what to prepare yourself for. This is Coffee and Crypto, where we love you guys and we will always be honest with you to help you do everything you can, even though we don't give financial advice. We just want to help you guys navigate the markets to decide for yourself, and that's what we call financial sovereignty, #FinSov. With that being said, though, guys, that's all we have for you in this video, but we will see you in the next one. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.